Hi, my name is Solo P1 and this is the F1 2021 Austrian Grand Prix Qualifying Part 1 2021 review. We are at Austria, one of my favourite tracks ever. I love the beginning of the track where it elevates straight to the top. The elevation is amazing at this track. It's like a mini go-karting track. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But the qualifying, to me, was dog shit. Because I knew he was going to win it. I'm not saying nothing about the race, but we all knew that Max Verstappen was going to get qualifying too. Listen, geeks, I do not care if Lewis Hamilton got the fastest lap in practice 3. Doesn't matter. I always knew that Max Verstappen was going to get qualifying. I knew he was going to get pole. When it comes to pole now, with that car, the way that car is now, that is the best car, the best chance for you to get pole. If you was a driver and you come into Formula 1 and you had to pick a car which was going to get pole week in and week out, you would go for the Red Bull. You wouldn't go for the the Mercedes. You wouldn't go for the McLaren. And you certainly wouldn't go for the AlphaTauri. Not the AlphaTauri, the Alfa Romeo. You'll go for the Red Bull. And that's it. When it comes to that one lap pace, the Red Bull have got the best car by far. Lewis Hamilton can use all his magician work on the car. Say, look, we need to improve in that, we need to improve that. Listen, what it boils down to, when it comes to one lap pace, it belongs to Red Bull. Now, when it comes to race pace, it's a little bit different. To me, race pace, I still think Mercedes have got maybe a slight edge, or it's 50-50. I'd go for the 50-50, but with Lewis Hamilton in it, you go for a little bit more because it's Lewis Hamilton. But standard, the cars are about the same when it comes to race pace, but with Lewis in it, you know, it's a different story. Now, I'm not going to say the season's getting boring because the season has been amazing. I've said that week in and week out. This season is one of the most exciting seasons I have seen since the Alonso years, when Alonso first come in. Saw Alonso coming, I thought, this is my guy. This is the guy who I am going to gravitate towards for the next 10-15 years. Alonso to me is one of the greatest drivers in the history of Formula 1. This is why I like Alonso. He speaks his mind. He doesn't give a shit what anybody says, and he backs it up on the track. Look at Alonso when he first came back to F1. All the geeks were saying he was finished. They was all saying he was finished. And what now? What now? Where's Ocon and where's Alonso? The guy was off for 2.5 years, and look at him now. That's all it takes. You come back, he had 2.5 years. He had 2.5 years out of it. He wanted to do Le Mans. He wanted to do IndyCar. He wanted to do other stuff. He wanted to do other categories. He was in F1 most of his young life. Started off in go-kart and then he went straight to F1. So he wanted something different. And when he came back, there was a lot of geeks, YouTubers, was coming on the internet and saying, now he's finished. They was even doing it in the live streams. When I went in a couple of live streams when I was talking to people, they were saying, nah, Alonso's finished, Alonso's finished. And this is after one race. One race. Now what? Look at him now. Since Monaco, he took the turn. And look at him now. He said, judge me after 5 races. Now you can judge him. And let's see them same geeks what used to run him down. Look where he's finishing. He's finishing now in Q3. Thank you very much. Alonso proved his points. He's going fast. All he can do is go as fast as what his car can do. Maybe with Alonso, a bit like Senna, a bit like Schumacher, a little bit like Hamilton. They can eke out a little bit more time. There's always time to be made. But he's getting the best out of that Alpine. That is it, guaranteed. And that's it. Now, on to the qualifying. I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I don't really care about this qualifying. I think the Sky Sports commentators all sound the same. Most of them sound the same. It's like week in and week out, you're hearing the same thing. First thing what comes out of their mouth, they go like this. The first thing what comes out of their mouth, they say, this is what we've all been waiting for. Don't speak for me, okay? Don't speak for me. Don't say this is what we've all been waiting for. Listen, it's good that we're getting this rivalry. It's good that finally Mercedes are getting challenged. It happened in 2018, 19 a little bit with Ferrari, but Ferrari just didn't have it at the end. With 2018, they gave him the car and he blew it better. He blew it. 2017, they had a fast car, but reliability on the second half of the season done Ferrari. And that, but this year with the Red Bull, the way they're challenging now, they are there. They are right there, or maybe even better than Mercedes at this point. I said it last week on my video, and I'll say it again. At this point, to me, Red Bull have got the best car. Now, tomorrow might come, and Lewis might get an amazing start, go past back to Verstappen, and then control the pace, and then everybody was saying, like me, Mercedes is back. But at this point now, before the race starts, Red Bull is the team to beat. And Lewis is going out there and he's saying to Sky Sports, he's saying that I need to be perfect. I need to be on my A game. Nothing else said. Very simple. It needs to be on his A game. And the only thing, right, what kind of pissed me off, I would have liked to saw Bottas there. I know Bottas come second, but he's getting that 3 place grid penalty. That's the negative. The positive, that Perez finished 5th place, not up there with Max Verstappen. Most likely, after about 10 laps, the pace of the Red Bull, Perez will probably get up there and he'll be behind Hamilton or Max Verstappen. Unless he gets hit, because being in 5th place, there's a chance that you might get done in the first corner. I don't know. But that's the negative. That's the positive. The negative, that Bottas got the 5th place grid penalty, and the positive, that Perez finished in 5th place. That's one way you can look at it. But it's going to be an amazing race tomorrow. I'll go through the Q1, what happened in Q1 and Q2, Q3. Q1, the TV at the beginning was showing promise. Nicholas Latifi. At one point, I thought Nicholas Latifi is going to out-qualify Max Verstappen. That's what I thought.
No chance.
No, not Max Verstappen, George Russell.
Nope.
That's what I thought at that time. Because, let's face it, as soon as Latifi's been here, what, 2 years? 3 years? And he's never out-qualified George Russell. George Russell, since he's been at Williams, no one's ever out-qualified him. Robert Kubica was there for over a season, couldn't do it. Latifi's been here for a couple of years and still hasn't done it. That is a testimony to George Russell. That shows you how good George Russell is. That George Russell, in 3 years, no one has out-qualified him at his team. Absolutely amazing. And he's getting his car every week into Q2 as well. That car's got no business being in Q2. The way that car's set up at the moment, the way that car is, and the way Williams are, and the resources they've got at the moment, because it's not going to be like that forever. But at the moment, that car shouldn't be getting into Q2, and it is getting into Q2. So you're going to go hats off to George Russell. Bottas on the radio was pissed off about Max Verstappen. He was doing his out lap. Now he was doing his fast lap. This was in Q1. He was doing his fast lap, and Max Verstappen got in his way. Max Verstappen obviously would have went out first and done his fast lap, and then he was just cooling down to come into the pits. And as Bottas was doing his fast lap, Max Verstappen was got in the way, and Bottas, he was pissed off and he was saying, look, it cost me your time. Now, that was me, and he did do it. I would have went to the stewards. I would have complained. Just like Red Bull complained. Just like all the other teams complain. I would have done whatever it takes to get that to the steward for them to look at it. But after that, nothing happened. But if he did do it on purpose, he should have went to the steward and make a complaint. Now, Ricardo got knocked out. Now, I've been saying since the beginning, this is where I'm shocked. I never thought in a million years. This is where I'm shocked. I never thought in a million years that Ricardo would get beat by Lando Norris. Everybody knows Ricciardo. Everybody knows Ricciardo is one of the greatest drivers in Formula 1. Not history, but in the last 20 years. But Lando Norris is showing him up. Everybody look, Lando Norris is showing everybody how much skills he's got. You know what Lando Norris said today to the press? He said, can realise how good Sainz was. But Sainz is. Because when Sainz was there, Sainz was out qualifying Lando and beating him in points. And now Ricciardo's gone there and Lando Norris is out qualifying Ricciardo and beating him in the race week in and week out. And now Ricciardo's gone there and Ricciardo's struggling. He's struggling week in and week out. Look, my opinion, Ricciardo should have stayed at Red Bull. Or maybe even stayed at Renault. Because he's all over the place. It's alright coming in a weekend showing you big grin. We all know what Ricciardo's like, okay? He's got the big massive grin. He comes in, he's trying to be positive, but underneath the grin, you know he's pissed off. Never trust the man who grins a lot. Trust me. It's all in the grin. If you see a man and he's grinning too much here, you know that he's hiding something. And that's Ricciardo. He's pissed that Lando is showing him up. And that's just the way it is. Lando is a great driver. Multiple world champion in his future. If he's staying at McLaren for years and years to come, McLaren future is looking good. They got a Mercedes engine. I reckon next season when the new regulations change, for me, Ferrari and McLaren are the teams, and maybe Alpine. That's the team. They're the three teams you got to watch out for. We all know Mercedes is going to be up there, but they're not going to be on their own. I think McLaren's going to be in there, Ferrari's going to be in there, and Alpine's going to be in there. And that's why Lando Norris signed that big contract. They give him the big contract, say, come on, sign it. He looked at the data. He saw the cars, what it's going to be like in the next couple of years. He knows what's going on. He's not stupid. He's an educated man. He's not stupid. He can see his future with McLaren because he knows what's going on. He's like another Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton came into Formula 1, went straight to McLaren. British driver, went to McLaren, won his world title after the second year. He should have won his world title, Lewis Hamilton, in 2007 in his debut season. If he wouldn't have went into the grab, would have told him to pit. But that's in the past. Lando Norris comes into Formula 1. He goes to McLaren. He's been there a couple of years. He's leading the team, not Ricciardo. He comes into the team and now look at him. He's the standard at McLaren now at the moment. Ricciardo is playing catch up. Embarrassing Ricciardo. Now, Q2 started. Max opting for the medium tyres. Going out as soon as Lewis Hamilton went out. This is another thing. It doesn't matter when Lewis Hamilton come out. He could have been at the beginning. He could be at the middle. Could be at the end. Every time Lewis Hamilton come out, Max has to come out as well. So that was a bit of a wind up. So Max comes out, opted to go in the medium tyres. So basically, you come out in the medium tyres and in Q2. And yeah, you come out in Q2 and they're the tyres you're going to start off in the race. As soon as you come out in Q2, you put your tyres on, whatever tyres compound you got, hard, medium or soft. Usually it's medium or soft, unless it's raining, then you put them intermediate on. And if you put them intermediate on in Q2, then when the race starts the next day, if it's dry, you've got your option for what tyres you want to go for. And that's the rules of F1. Because if they go on the wet tyres and then the next day it's a dry day, they can't start on the wet tyres. The FIA, the rules, whatever, they give them the option what tyres they want to start on. But in Q2 it was dry. Max come out in the medium tyres. So obviously that's what Red Bull are going for tomorrow. But before Q2, at the end of Q1, Perez was struggling. Perez's paces weren't there this weekend, and it continued into Q2. Max was opting for the medium tyres. He went the fastest lap, boom, straight away. Lewis tried his best. He went out on the medium tyres. He locked up in the first sector. No, the second sector. He locked up, and he had to go again on the tyres he's going to start tomorrow. So basically, when he locked up on his first stint in Q2, they're the tyres you've got to start tomorrow. Usually when you come out, you do one lap, then you come in and you put your tyres away, because they're the tyres you've got to start on the race tomorrow. Because Lewis locked up and his time wasn't that good, he had to go again and do a fast lap. But what was a bit baffling to me, why did Max Verstappen go? He went out, he got the fastest lap on his medium tyres. You'd think he'd come back in and he'd leave his tyres off and he'd think, right, these are the tyres I'm starting tomorrow. I got the fastest lap, I'm fine. But what did he go and do? Dumbass. Went back out again and done another lap, which I don't understand why he done it. Even Martin Brundle was questioning his decision. But that's just the way it is, isn't it? We'll never know. So, they're both basically tomorrow. The teams at the front are going to be starting on the medium tyres, and at the end of Q2, Max hits the fastest lap again. So he's top P1, Q1, and Q2. So we know where we knew where this at this point. We knew where it was going. So Q3 started. Alonso got into Q3. So Ocon got knocked out at the end of Q2. Alonso goes through. So into Q3, Alonso goes into Q3. He knocked out Russell just at the end of Q2. So basically, Russell nearly got into Q3, but Alonso was behind him and done his lap and went slightly faster than Russell and Alonso again. 2-3 weeks in a row now. 2 weeks in a row now. It gets the Alpine into Q3, and that was an amazing. Perez, Norris, and Gasly top the group at the end of Q2. And Russell, Vettel, Sainz, Ricardo. Ricardo didn't go out in the Q1, he went out in Q2. So again, Ricardo can't get into Q3, and Lando did. So at the beginning I said that Ricardo went out and never went out in Q1, he went out at the end of Q2. But it don't matter really, does it? Ricardo, with his experience, with his knowledge, with his a true student of the game, world-class driver like Daniel Ricciardo, with the car he's got there, I don't care about the fucking excuses now that he keeps talking about. He's the boring now. Oh, I've just got to get the car right. Listen, geek, wake the fuck up. You should have that car now underneath your feet and settled, because Alonso had 2.5 years off. He comes back after 4 or 5 races. He's got the car. Perez goes to Red Bull, took him 4 or 5 races. Look at Perez now. No excuses. Vettel took him 4 or 5 races. Now he's got the car where he wants. No excuses, Ricardo. No excuses. See, Alonso's got more excuse than you, because he was out for 2.5 years. And he's come back 4 or 5 races. He's got his car where he wants. But you still, at the end of the day, right, just come out and say that Lando's doing me over. I'd have more respect for you if you just come out and say Lando's doing me over, because that's what he's doing. And he just can't handle it. I remember last year he was going like this: I'm going to end you. He tried to intimidate Lando, because when I come to McLaren, I'm going to end you, to try and wind him up. But it didn't work. It didn't work. He's not, the little mind games are not working now. He tried at the beginning of the season with Lando to try and like throw him off his game, tried to, all in the green, tried to like throw him off his game, but it ain't working. You're the one, his game's getting thrown off. Lando's fine. Lando is fine. You're far from getting a podium. Lando, every week, if the race goes his way, I can see Lando getting a podium, but you're nowhere. You're nowhere. So Q3 goes ahead now. Hamilton comes out, does a 1:04. And at that time, he come out, it was the fastest lap. Then Max comes out, and when I saw this 1 second free, 1 minute free, and I saw Hamilton's 1:04, so he was a second faster than Hamilton, I just thought, there you go. Just as I thought at the beginning, before qualifying started, that when it comes to qualifying, 1 lap pace, Red Bull have got it. This track has been kind to Verstappen in the past as well. This is Red Bull's home track. Very simple. It's their home track. And at the end of the day, Mercedes are getting their arse handed to them by Red Bull. When it comes to 1 lap pace qualifying, Red Bull are doing over Mercedes. I think it's 3 in a row now. 3 poles in a row by Max Verstappen. And Lewis Hamilton in qualifying is on the back foot. And that's it. And at the end there, Max got pole, second Bottas, and third was Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton automatically going to second, because Bottas got the 5-place group penalty. So he's going to drop down a few places. I think it's 5 or 3-place group penalty. I think it's 5. But at the end, when Lewis slipped, it was like an easy corner that he'd make that all day long, and he suddenly slipped. I don't know. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying the corner looked a bit easy, and he didn't make it. Kind of locked up a bit at the end, and Bottas got second place. So Bottas got pole. Now Bottas got second place. Max was the pole man, and third place was Lewis Hamilton. And that's it. That was the end of the review. The qualifying to me was boring. I hope tomorrow the race is going to be good. Most likely it's going to be a good race. Most of the time when they come here, it's always a good race. This, like I said, this is one of my favourite tracks. It's top 6 track for me, and it's like a little go-karting track, and it's a lot, and it's power hungry on the tyres. So it's going to be a medium. It could be a medium to medium strategy. I think, as someone say, I think the guys behind, I think from 6 downwards, I think it's going to be. They're going to be starting on probably like Ricardo. He'll probably be starting on the soft tyres maybe to try and get up in early in the race, and then go for the medium. But I think, but the Mercedes and the Red Bulls, they're going to be starting on the medium size, medium, then maybe soft. Me, I'd go for a medium. I would medium. You never know, might work. But that's it. That's the end of the review. This is all up in qualified and finally back. I'm back. This is my old room I used to use. This, I was decorating this room, getting some new stuff for it. I still stream in my other room, which you see me on Twitter week in and week out. But this is the room where I used to do my reviews back in the day. It's been a couple of months since I've been in here. But it's finally sorted now, but all my stuff's back. I got all everything decorated, everything sorted. But I'm back now. But this is all up in one side now. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This is the F1 Austrian Grand Prix qualifying session part 1. Part 2 is going to be next week, obviously, because this is part 1. And yeah, this is all up in one side now. Don't forget the subscribe button, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.